Witnesses, state your names and occupation to the court.
Yes, sir. I am a proud soldier of the Empire, Sergeant Taizou Uzukrumaru, sir.
Sanmon Sonohigurashi is my name.
I was at the restaurant chatting with the old man as I ate my beefsteak.
This one was boasting of a beautiful treasure enveloped in golden gleam.
The flash of a gunshot, that moment was burned into my eyes. That black-clad student shot the brisk man, a sudden cowardly shot from behind.
Meanwhile, this one crawled to the floor in search of a treasure gone missing.
No, the defense demands to conduct a cross-examination thing!
Well, what was in the world was that? This photograph came flying out of nowhere.
It's a contradiction!
What's, pray tell, is so contradictory about this photograph?
You can't be serious. Do you really need an explanation for something like this? This is the Supreme Court, for goodness sake.
What did you say?
Maybe if you just shut up and take a look at the photograph, you'd notice too. The sergeant's testimony contradicts the evidence. The sergeant's testimony just now has made one thing abundantly clear. This witness, Taizou Uzukrumaru, soldier of the Empire, did not see the moment in which the defendant supposedly fired the pistol.
Ugh! This is absurd!
Come on, surely you understand. Our Supreme Court has no room for amateur prosecutors like you.
It seems that our telegram to the British Empire can be delivered on schedule. After all, there was no contradiction to any of the latest testimony.
This is really happening? Is the trial really going to end just like that?
Chin up, Naruhodo. It's not over yet. So, what are you waiting for? Time for another cross-examination.
The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses, but be quick about it.
Know this. These courtroom procedures are merely delaying the inevitable.
Ugh. Sir! I'm telling you, there was a woman dining with Dr. Watson!
Objection! Still repeating the same old nonsense, I see. Like I said, this woman exists only in your imagination.
God! If only there were more witnesses who could back me up!
The incident took place after 2 p.m. during the gap between lunch and dinner.
That explains why there weren't very many potential witnesses around.
Yes, 2 in the afternoon is certainly an unorthodox time to be having a meal. Perhaps the victim had a reason to be dining at La Quanto's at the particular time.
Ah, yes, about that. It seems he did have a reason indeed, Your Honor.
Huh?
This was found in the victim's breast pocket.
And what exactly might this be?
It looks to be a medical report, Your Honor. The victim paid a visit to the doctor before going to the restaurant.
Hada Clinic. Even the date and time are listed here. 19 November, from approximately noon to 1 in the afternoon.
Right before the time of the incident.
Clearly, the victim went out for a late lunch after his examination. I found it unnecessary to report this, as it has no bearing on this case at hand.
What do you make of this, Naruhodo?
Me? Well, I didn't think it was that important either.
There's always a chance we'll find some use for this evidence later.
Should I request a copy of Dr. Watson's medical report? Sir! May we have that medical report as, evidence?
And what for? Thanks to the decisive testimony we heard, there is no need for further evidence. Besides, what the victim did prior to the incident is no relevance to this court.
Objection. Sorry to disappoint, but we'll be the judge of that.
Excuse me?
Lest you forget, you have no right to deny a legitimate request made by the defense.
Very well. The court approves the defense's request.
Ugh. You youngsters are doing right. I fear for the future of our empire.
The court orders you to submit the victim's medical record as evidence.
Right now, we are in desperate need of a new lead. Though this may seem irrelevant at first glance, don't underestimate its potential.
Yeah. Got it.
Soon you will realize how futile it is to prolong this trial. I, for one, believe that the testimony has painted a sufficiently clear picture. What say you, antique dealer?
Great job, Naruhodo. That's one new piece of information in the bag.
Yeah, but I don't think we've made any real progress. I still can't find a decent contradiction.
You sure about that? Here, show me that medical report you just got.
Oh, you mean this?
We went through all the trouble to get our hands on this. It'd be wise to examine it more closely. Alright, Naruhodo. Let's see what we can glean from this new medical report.
Yeah! You got it! Let's do this!
These appear to be doctor's notes. There's an entry written here from the day the incident occurred. Prepares anesthesia, tooth extraction.
Extraction? That's when they pull out the tooth, right?
Before the incident, it appears Dr. Watson was suffering from a toothache. The dentist in Europe uses laughing gas these days, so I wonder if they use that.
I've read about it. They say it makes you go numb. Supposedly, it makes it so that way you won't feel pain. But I find that hard to believe.
These are some precautionary notes written by the doctor. Due to residual anesthesia, consumption of anything but water is strictly prohibited for 3 hours after treatment.
What?
Might help us to keep this information in mind.
With the new information we have now, the meaning of this testimony has completely changed.
You're on to something, aren't you? Let's listen to the testimony one more time.
All right. Sir! So, in other words...
What's wrong, attorney? Cat got her tongue.
I'm a defendant first. Attorney a second.
Naruhodo, getting tongue-tied is no big deal. Happens to the best of us.
Sugi!
Your cross-examination earlier was indicative of one important fact. Whenever you raise the hand of yours, there's something on your mind that you're dying to let out. So don't worry about finding the right words. Just speak your mind.
Got it. I'll take your advice to heart. Witness, here's the victim's medical report.
Oh, and what of it, young one?
According to what's written here, I have a good reason to believe there's something off about your testimony!
Objection! Oh dear, did you forget what I told you?
What did you tell me?
Amateurs like you should shut your mouth! Pipe down!
Huh?
Here are the facts. The victim was murdered at the restaurant sometime after 2 p.m. Whatever he might have done before then is irrelevant to this case.
That's not...
Naruhodo, don't worry about finding the right words. Just speak your mind.
Your Honor, at this point, there is no need for further deliberation. After all, the previous testimonies made everything perfectly clear. The medical report is irrelevant to the case at hand. And as for why, it is because this little university student is the only possible culprit.
Are you saying that this medical report isn't relevant at all? Is that really what you think?
Hey, what's with the sudden shift in tone? Don't scare me like that. Anyway, don't think too hard about it. It's common sense.
Even if the Hara clinic is, in fact, a dental clinic?
Dental clinic? That doesn't change a thing.
Even if at the dental clinic, the victim had undergone a tooth extraction?
What?
Moreover, the victim was prohibited from eating solid food after the operation.
Hold on, boy. What are you getting at? Prohibited from consuming solid food? What in the world?
It's all been noted in the fine print. Any consumption of solid food is strictly prohibited for 3 hours after treatment.
No, that can't be.
Sir!
What is it?
Now you've heard the truth! And at the time of the incident, shortly after 2 p.m., the victim was unable to eat a thing.
This is an outrage.
In addition,
What? Why are you staring at me?
you claimed several times that the victim was enjoying his meal alone. However, that claim doesn't hold up.
Good. Oh.
Because the victim had just undergone a tooth extraction and could not eat solid food.
Well said, partner.
Objection! What are you getting at, brat? Your argument is meaningless. Take a look at this photograph. Clearly, there is a serving of beefsteak on the victim's table.
Objection. Fool. Haven't you realized that in itself is the contradiction?
What did you say?
Right now, the situation has been completely turned on its head. Isn't that right, Naruhodo?
Huh? Oh, of course!
The victim could not consume any solid food because he just had a tooth extracted. If that was the case, another question arises. Who exactly, then, was eating this beefsteak? The court demands an explanation. Understood, defense?
Oh, you mean me?
Listen up. The real fight begins once you give the judge your answer. Show me what you can do. Time for a great turnabout.
Yes, sir. The only person who could have been eating the beefsteak is... Of course it must have been the person who was dining with the victim.
Objection! Don't make me waste my breath. No such person exists.
Sir! Don't make me waste mine! She most certainly does!
At the time of the incident, the victim was in no condition to be eating solid food. And yet, a beefsteak lay half-eaten on this table. Therefore, someone else must have been present. That's the only explanation. So long as the obvious contradiction remains, we can't trust the previous testimony. And if you keep trying to rig this trial in your favor, I will report you to the Ministry of Justice. Mark my words.
Asogi!
You little... Do you really think you could take on the judicial system of the Japanese Empire?
You are not my opponent today. My opponents are the two witnesses here.
How dare you?
What do you mean by that?
As the evidence clearly shows, the victim was not alone. Or are you purposely trying to hide the truth? I sincerely hope you're prepared to be charged with perjury.
Perjury?
Not to mention, this is a murder trial. Being found guilty of perjury would imply that you are accomplices to the murder.
Murder? No.
Hold it! Preposterous! I was not aware of such a thing. I simply testified as I was ordered to.
Indeed, that is the truth. We were ordered to testify that the young lady was never at the crime scene. Oh.
What was that? Witnesses! Could you repeat that?
Well, you see...
You were ordered to say that?
No, now, hold on, that was,
You were ordered to testify that a young lady was never at the crime scene?
Good.
Let me guess. This lady... She's a foreigner, I take it.
Oh!
Objection! What is the meaning of this? Did these witnesses commit perjury? You two, answer me at once!
It was just a slip of the tongue.
Order! Someone please explain what's going on here.
I knew it. You ordered these witnesses to lie under oath.
The prosecution was not aware of this either.
Then, who gave the order?
That's...
This one's lips are sealed.
So you don't care if you're indicted as an accessory to murder?
This is preposterous.
Naruhodo, it appears that these two witnesses have been silenced by someone with influence far beyond their own. Moreover, the good prosecutor had absolutely no knowledge of this.
Seriously? But who could have exerted that kind of influence? The government? The military? It could even be the police.
Well, Naruhodo, do you have any idea who may have ordered them to stay silent? As you can identify a culprit, we can demand them to appear in court. This is rather odd.
What's wrong, Asogi?
The name of the witness is written down here, Satoru Hosonaga.
Well, obviously it's a business card after all.
The name is not the problem, it's the title.
The title? Oh! Imperial Police, Division 1, Investigation, Lead Detective, Satoru Hosonaga. Detective, what in the world is going on?
I have no idea. If he has the authority of a police officer, he may be capable of coercion.
If either of you have fabricated your testimony, I shall declare you guilty of perjury.
Please just wait a moment, Your Honor. I, Auchi, swear to heaven and earth that I had no part in this. I swear!
Then, defendant? No, attorney. What is going through your mind?
Sir! I can't do this. There's no time to gather my thoughts. I'll just have to close my eyes and blur out a first name that comes to my mind. Aside from the prosecutor, I believe this person is influential enough to pressure them. Sir! Might the name of this person be Satoru Hosonaga?
Hosonaga, the waiter?
Objection! Balderdash! Why would a mere waiter need to silence these witnesses? Moreover, there's no way he's that level of influence.
You are not wrong, but what if... This man wasn't really a waiter.
Pardon me? Where are you going with this?
Go on, Naruhodo. Now's your chance to strike him down.
Sir!
It's that sketch of the crime scene drawn by the waiter. Why, he certainly is a resourceful head waiter.
No, Your Honor, that's just the back of the card. Why, you ought to be paying attention to the back of the back.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, that would be the front, I guess. Yeah, that's it. In other words, please take a look at the front of the back, Your Honor.
Can someone reiterate that for me?
Allow me. Satoru Hosonaga drew the sketch on the back of his business card, and needless to say, business cards display the identity of their owner.
The identity of their owner. Ooh, oh!
I see Your Honor has figured it out. Imperial Police, Division 1, Investigation. Lead Detectives Satoru Hosonaga.
What in blazes? That waiter is actually a detective of the Imperial Police? Auchi was not told about this.
The Imperial Police holds absolute, nay, overwhelming authority over the citizenry. Witnesses? Were you ordered to fabricate your testimonies by this so-called waiter? Were you told to hide the fact that you witnessed the presence of a young lady that day?
Well...
Hold it!
Detective Hosonaga!
To be honest, I saw this coming. I knew it since the moment I was asked to hand over that sketch.
I request that you present the sketch to the court as evidence for the trial.
Oh, well...
Is something wrong? Go on, hand it over.
Certainly, as you wish.
Come to think of it, he did seem a bit hesitant to hand his card.
If you must investigate, do it to the utmost perfection. That is my motto. Yet here I am, having been exposed due to my own blunder. What an utter failure on my part.
Then you really are a detective?
But why would a detective of the Imperial Police be deployed at the Western Restaurant? Oh!
I was
maybe the
conducting an
detective-
undercover investigation.
An undercover investigation? Why?
Recently, there has been a string of incidents at that particular restaurant. In order to investigate, I took on the role of a waiter and infiltrated the establishment.
A string of incidents? What kind exactly?
Unfortunately for you, I cannot disclose any details regarding the investigation. I can only say that it is indeed unrelated to the murder case at hand.
Very well then. Detective Hosonaga, allow me to confirm one thing.
And what would that be, Your Honor?
Earlier, these witnesses let slip a crucial new piece of information. During the incident, it seems that there was a guest at the victim's table. If that is indeed the truth, then as their waiter, you were aware of that. And yet, not only have you avoided testifying to that fact, you even used your authority to prevent the witnesses from speaking out. Do you deny any of this?
I do not.
What?
We were right.
I ran out of the kitchen as soon as I heard that gunshot. What I saw then was the lifeless victim with the university student towering over him, firearm in hand. And also, another individual sitting across the table, a British woman, I believe.
We were right again.
I quickly had the restaurant barricaded as I reported the incident to headquarters. It was then that I received a set of special orders from my superiors.
Special orders? You mean...
Release the British woman from the scene of the crime immediately. I was also to conceal anything that ever implied she was there. Those were absolute, irrefutable commands issued to me.
But if that British woman was the true culprit...
It would be in your best interest to not finish that statement. Maintaining good relations with the British Empire is our nation's top priority. A British man was murdered, and now you wish to convict a British woman of that crime? Unless your case is watertight, we cannot afford to take that risk.
I see. That's the reason behind the disappearance of our phantom woman.
That's insane!
I just remembered something.
Asogi?
Imperial Yume University accepts exchange students from the British Empire. And currently, there's one such student in our Department of Medical Research. A young female student, no less.
Seriously?
You truly are a gifted student attorney. I can see why you were chosen to study abroad as our Empire's representative.
That means...
After escorting the lady away from the crime scene, I looked into her identity for the sake of being thorough.
In that case, you would do well to state her name to the court.
The name of the British lady who dined with the doctor is Miss Giselle Brett. She is an exchange student at Imperial Yume University and a member of the victim's research lab.
What?
I was ordered by my superiors to erase her presence from the scene. As such, I coerced these men into concealing the truth. This I do not deny. I will now leave the rest in Your Honor's capable hands.
Very well. The court will now state its opinion on the matter. So far, this trial has proceeded under one major assumption. That the victim was sitting alone at the time of the incident. However, that assumption has now been discredited. In light of this development, the court believes it is still too early to hand down a verdict.
Objection! Your Honor, but that means we would delay the verdict and our telegram to the British Empire till later this afternoon. Our government won't be happy about that.
Restrain yourself, Prosecutor Auchi. The trials of the Supreme Court are not to be swayed by political influence.
Ah!
Detective Hosonaga,
Yes.
please issue a summons for Mr. Giselle Brett.
Of course, as Your Honor commands.
Detective, doing so will mean to find the special orders you were given.
I believe I made this clear earlier. If you must investigate, then do it to the utmost perfection. That is my motto.
Detective, won't your livelihood be at risk?
Bring it on, I say.
Let us adjourn this trial for a short recess. I hereby order that the exchange student, Mr. Giselle Brett, be summoned to this court. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor. Sir!
Very good. The court will now take a 30-minute recess.